First of all, Gilbert, I'd like to thank you for sharing your testimony. It's an amazing thing that you can do this, and we appreciate it. And in the few minutes that we talk, I'm sure people will understand how God has changed your life.
Growing up in Pacoima projects, my parents were both gang related. Really, most of my family was in that lifestyle, and that's all I knew. I ended up going to my enemy's territory, and they end up, we bumped into each other, me and my enemies, and there was a big scuffle and a fight, and somebody had dropped their gun, and I picked it up and ended up shooting these guys. After I got convicted I got sentenced to 19 years to life. And when I went to prison, I figured that I left a street gang, and since I was in prison, I became what they call sureño, and it's a bigger gang. So I found myself getting in trouble over and over and over, and running with the wrong crowd inside as I did outside, and they had validated me as a gang member, a prison gang member. So when you get validated, you get sent to the solitary housing unit, solitary confinement. So I was there for 22 years.
And just reflecting on that time in prison, what were some of the most challenging aspects you faced?
I guess you could say it's just missing my family. And at this point, I have a son, and leaving him out there with his mom, wondering how he was gonna, how they were gonna survive out there without me. I guess you could say that was pretty challenging. So what I did to not think about them was I started getting high inside, and that would just take everything all away. There was a few times where I did get approached by some of my South partners who were walking with God, and I wasn't ready for that path, and I looked at those guys as honestly as cowards, because all of a sudden you come to prison and you want to change your life around. So I used to give them a hard time. I think it was around my 18th or 19th year in solitary confinement in the SHU. Up in Pelican Bay, it's just a small yard. So I was walking around one day just in my boxers, my socks, and my t-shirt, and it was raining really bad. So I think when I was walking around the yard, I stopped, and this is the first time I ever said a prayer, I guess. You know what I mean? I looked up at the sky and I just told God, God, I don't want to die in here. After I said that prayer, I went up to I guess you could say it's like a board where you go up in front of a committee, and on that day I went to committee. I told God, look, this is the second time. I know I don't pray to you a lot, but I'm going to committee and I want a chance to get out. I had to do a lot of self-work, a lot of work on myself. And learning about your victim and his family was part of one of the things I had to do to get out. And sometimes I used to question why was I still alive, actually. I mean, why was he wasn't around for his kids, but why do I, even though I was incarcerated, I was still around for my son, was able to come see me. And there was many questions where I've asked God, like, why do I still get to have a chance? When I finally got out of the solitary confinement, I ended up going to Eucalyptus State Prison. It's a mainline level 4. And my cousin was there, and he had changed his life around. He became a pastor on the streets. He invited me to a men's gathering that they have in church. So he told me, hey man, you're gonna go to board pretty soon. Would you like to come? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. 2 days later, I went to board, and I thank God because they granted me parole after 30 years prison. Yeah. Life is really hard because when I got out, I had to adjust. Being in prison for so long, getting to be around so many people out here, I got, which I didn't know I had, was, I always thought that PTSD was for the military, but I had to see a psychiatrist because even being out here for, after 2 weeks, I went to Walmart. And I got so scared, and there were so many people to where I had to go into the restroom, and I shut the door. And I had to close myself in because that's what I was used to, is being in a little closed environment. And when I was out there in the store, I lost my breath. I couldn't breathe. I had told my parole officer, look, man, I don't feel comfortable out here. And he's like, why? And I said, man, it became overwhelming for me. So he goes, do you ever think about talking to a psychiatrist? And I'm like, man, or a psychologist. I'm like, I'm not crazy, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? But there was somebody at the home where I was, because I'm from LA, but when I got released from prison, they asked me, where you want to go? I said, I don't want to go. So they sent me here to Vista, to a men's home, transitional house here in Vista. And there was a couple of guys going to a church. And then they asked me if I would like to go, and I'm like, sure, give it a shot, you know? So I started going to a church in Oceanside. And little by little, I kind of seen how going to church kind of helped me adjust to being out here in real world. So when my wife was getting baptized here, Pastor Julio, since I've come to Lighthouse, he sends me texts every day and keeps in contact. I mean, not just Pastor Julio. There's a lot of brothers here who actually reach out to me and help me with my walk in Christ. Me and my wife ended up getting baptized together here at Lighthouse, but we had talked, and I just didn't want to be a guy coming to church. I wanted to participate. I wanted to serve more. So I decided to go with the parking team. And my wife also volunteers, and she serves in the front, welcoming. I know, truthfully, with all my heart, that I could not do this without God. That's my honest answer. And I'm not trying to just say it or anything like that. I know, coming from where I come from, that He has helped me along the way. I've had many, many blessings in my life. And I know 100% that I could not do it without God. You know, being a son of God has helped me with my patience. It has helped me with being out here in the environment. I never in my wildest dream would have ever imagined that I would be a son of God, you know. It has given me my peace, and I know that I am redeemed when I got baptized. Now, when I left those prison gates, I left the old guy behind me. When I got baptized in that water, as soon as I came up, I felt a whole new different man. And I know it was only by the grace of God that I'm free. Yes, I know I still have a long ways to go. I know that, but every day, I mean, like I said, I always, like, my first thing I do is I pray to God in the morning. I've never done that before, and it's just doing that is giving me a beautiful piece of my life, you know. And I pray to God that I want to be the son of God that He wants me to be. And like I mentioned, my peace in my life, I would have never got this peace if I would not have totally surrendered to Him and actually really trusted Him. I mean, I totally trust God in everything I do. My driving to Ocean to fish, going to the store with my wife, everything I do, I always leave, okay, I know that I'm good because God has got me. May I say one more note?
Yes, please.
To the guys and whoever sees this and they believe I can't be loved by God. Well, yes, you can, because I thought the same way. And putting my trust in God has been the ultimate for me. So, to your question, as you asked, what would someone say to help somebody? I mean, God has saved my life in many ways possible. And I know He could do that to anybody. They truly put their trust in God, then they will be set free.